Like, oh, hey, darling, you are ready for school. Shika katoto hivi, unakapeleka kwa gari, unaka-drop school. Jioni unaenda kachukua, unaka-hug. My friend, let me say this to Kenyans.
Yeah.
I taught as a UT with the people who are ministers in their countries. And many changes come in that manner. That vitu inaharibika, wanakoroga vitu inaharibika, vikombe inaharibika kwa nyumba. Then we all become hungry. Then we shall buy new cups. And when they see we are listening without being members of DCP,
Yes,
but we are listening, they will let us in.
great to see you. Hello there and welcome to Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Jadel Cabero. Even under this sad circumstances, I'm still glad that you take some time and you join us every single day for these conversations to help build politics and policy here in Kenya. Sad because of the death of Albert Ojwang. Died here in Nairobi, arrested in Homa Bay. Conversation in the country is, why is this happening again? Prof, great to see you. How are you doing today?
Well, like you say, it's sad. When I lost my son some time back, very painful experience. But what I remember is what my late aunt said. My mother was born just two girls. So the elder sister to my mother, my aunt, she saw the pain I was going through, and she said something which I've not forgotten. She said, children should bury their parents. And every time it is the other way around. The pain of a parent burying their child is unbearable. So I feel for that man who has lost that young man. You could see it. The pain.
Yes.
It's not something you can describe.
You ask yourself, we saw this last year. We are seeing this again. I remember last year we had a conversation of a heartless regime. Yes. Why aren't things changing? Why are we back here? Even before we single out Albert Ojwang and we look at his case, why are we here again? Kenyans are at city mortuary, trying to understand what is happening. Police officers from IG Kanja in Central Police Station, they're saying they have interdicted these police officers. And of course, he's saying it's not suspension, it's interdiction. We're going to have IPOA look into the matter. We will take action. But why are we here again?
It is not something you can even try to understand. Even just thinking about it is so painful. Yeah. It's just even talking about it. It's so painful. Why? Why?
After we didn't learn from last year.
Why? Just why, honestly? Why?
It's simply
I was discussing with somebody yesterday. Not about that. It's about someone saying I could get annoyed if somebody messed with me. I can find a way of dealing with him. I told him, fine. I told him two things. One, every time somebody has killed somebody, they can't hide enough. They can't hide enough. Why? There's something about human life. There's something about human blood. Nobody can successfully hide away after killing somebody. People may use money to cover up, but people will get to know who did. There is no perfect murder. You have heard that. There is nothing like a perfect murder. However well paid and planned, it's because of human blood. The second thing is that people are not as bad as we think they are. No. People are not as evil as... People are evil, but they are not what we think they are. And therefore, whatever somebody has done to you, I believe with the right approach, you can always sort out the problem between the two of you. Yes.
With the right approach.
With the right approach. Even some of these young men whom you may get very offended by what they are doing. I'm sure in 99.99% of them, if somebody sat down with them, they may see what they are doing is not right, if it's not right. So to get to a point where you come to killing another human being, it will haunt you. Human blood never goes just like that, never. You may think I'm primitive, I'm old-fashioned, but it is true. Even if you read books, including holy books, you'll find it there. I'm telling you, people who engage in taking away human life, they never live normal lives. You can't.
We're speaking about Albert Ojwang simply because of what he posted. And then he was taken from Homa Bay, brought to Nairobi.
Migori or Homa Bay, one of those.
He was going to Migori. I think his home is in Migori, but he was arrested in Homa Bay.
Okay.
Brought to Nairobi.
Yes.
Died in police cells. First statement, he was hitting his head on the wall. Second statement, he was found unconscious. The move from the police trying to navigate through this issue. How would you comment about it?
Again, if there is a mistake, it's always good to be truthful. Even when things have happened in America, for example, George Floyd and that, people don't begin by running away from the truth and denying. Because you must sell a narrative that makes sense to the people. If you say somebody killed himself in the police, that doesn't make sense.
Hit himself in the wall.
Until he died.
And we know Central Police, there are obviously so many inmates in those cells.
That hitting that can make you
kill yourself.
No, you're not talking to zombies.
Was he separated? That's another question from other.
Yeah. So, and why was he arrested in Nyanza and left the police jurisdiction, station, regional jurisdiction all the way. You can't answer those kind of questions by coming up with those stupid explanations.
So if you're looking at it, you just say the police are guilty for his death.
Yeah. But to me, it doesn't matter whether anybody is guilty or not. I just want to ask all of us, why can't we just never do this again? Yeah.
What is this fear?
On behalf of Kenyan parents, whether they have gone through this or they live in the fear that any time their children, just on the behalf of Kenyan people, I ask those who may be doing these things, whether they be government or anybody else, why can't we just stop doing things in this way? Why? Is this so difficult? Why would you occasion people this kind of pain? And the more important thing, what do you stand to gain? I'm trying to see what you can gain through the death of Albert Ojwang, and I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it.
This intimidation that they're bringing,
that one cannot work.
And the fear now, I was listening to Okinyi and Willis, they were talking about young people are afraid, and Willis was telling him, do not be afraid, it's the voice that will help things change. Will this fear work for young people thinking Albert has died?
If it didn't work in the 1980s, how can it work now? If the British might was not capable of silencing the Africans as they were looking for independence and fighting for dignity, how can we even imagine it will work now?
What is the missing link in government trying to silence? Because now it's been a year since last year, June. What is that missing link that they have to go to these extreme ends to fix what young people are posting on social media?
You know, at every time you have a problem in our country, there are always two clear options. The first option on the right side is do the right thing. Listen to what people are saying. The fact that you are listening is almost good enough before you do anything. Just evidence that the government is listening to these young people, for example. And then proceed to look at what they have to say. And I've said, In implementing some of the demands from the Gen Zs, you may want to look at something that can come with a political cost to the president. Something that has serious financial obligations the government may not do. But in the case of Kenya, none of those. It's not applicable. There are no political risks from within the country that the president may expose himself to by doing some of the things that young people are saying, let's do this. There are no political risks. Good example is if you sack Mithika Linturi. She's just Ukomeru and Ndevu zake. In some places, if you touch somebody, your government will collapse. That's what I mean by political risk. You may even not be able to go to some part of the country as the president. That's political risk. Is there anything like that in this country? There was anything the president could do from the demands of the Gen Zs that could expose his government to any political risk? The answer is certainly no. Others are financial risks. What is this that government could do that will cost the government so much? Government feels it could collapse. Is there anything that people were demanding where government needed to spend 500 billion, 100 billion, or go slow or fail to pay its international debts in order to meet this and that, and thereby getting into the risk of being blacklisted by the donors? Is there anything like that? There's nothing. The things government was being asked to do neither carried political risk nor financial problems. So that's the one path. You do the right thing. The other path is the path of suppression. You suppress people.
What is happening now?
Yeah. Now, bad news for government. I'm sorry to be the one carrying this bad news for government. It has never worked anywhere. It will not work in Kenya. It may take long. You may celebrate little battles, victories of battles, but you will never win the war. The war of suppression, the way of suppression, the path of suppression never works, especially where there is consciousness, social consciousness. The moment the people become aware, you can't use that path because it can't work.
What is wrong with boomers? Let me finish with that. Your age mates,
Yes.
our parents, and when it comes to understanding this conversation, because I believe your generation is the one advising government on how to deal with the young people.
Yes.
What is the missing link too when it comes to that? I was mentioning a line from Bob Dylan earlier before we started, that times are changing and all people, our parents should embrace or give hand to those who want transformation. Where is that link that is missing?
And if they don't want to give, they should give way.
Yes, if you don't give hand.
Or so the song goes.
Yes.
Jad, in the past 1 week or so, there has been heated debate, if you can call it that, on some of the WhatsApp walls or groups where I belong at the university. I've not said a word. I'm very good at participating in those discussions.
Countering.
We have 3, 4, 5 WhatsApp groups embracing university dons. I've not said a word because I am in shock that educated men and women do not understand their own children. So do not be surprised what the government is doing.
What are you saying? Your lecturers at the university,
I'm
university
shocked.
dons.
I'm shocked. I've not even responded. I've not even posted one. You read the post and you wonder, who are these? These are professors?
What are they saying?
They don't understand their own children. So I will not be shocked. I'm not surprised that the government doesn't understand these young people. Because for you to understand anything, you just need to look at the times. There's nothing you can understand outside the context of time. Period. If you are a manager somewhere, if you want to understand the strange behavior you are witnessing at the workplace, just ask yourself, niko wapi? Where am I? I'm in the year 2021. Oh, okay. That's all. When young people report to work late, and they are surprised that you are annoyed, it seems you don't understand the times they are working in. They are not brought up like you to look at the clock or the watch. They look at the job. If they can do that job in 2 hours, why do you want them to be in the office for 8 hours? If they can do it while they're having lunch somewhere, you want to see them so that unataka sura yao ufanyie nini kwa ofisi. So that manager who doesn't understand, who finds this behavior strange, needs to ask themselves, which year is this? The year is
25.
So government has a problem understanding this is the year 2025. A majority of the people we are going to interact with and we are interacting with are people who live in a different world. Their worldview is completely different from ours. What we need to do is just to understand them. And when they see we are listening without being members of DCP,
yes,
but we are listening, they will let us in. And we will also moderate them. We will tell them, we were also young like you. We thought we knew everything. We have seen the land. We don't know anything. And they will tell us, look, mumevumilia hii ujinga mpaka angalia vile mumeinama migongo na watu wachache wanaharibu nchi. So, but we shall have a conversation. The bottom line is that once you empathize with people, you try to understand people, you create room for a conversation. And a conversation, sure enough, will always produce answers. What you thought was so difficult, a conversation will provide ways out of it.
So what next for Kenya, for Ruto's government?
There are only two ways.
With these Albert Ojwang cases popping up every day now.
There are only two ways. Either government and all of us. By government, there is also a government in my house. I'm the head of government and head of state in my house. Where you are a school teacher, you are a head of government. Don't say it's Ruto. The principal of Chabakali High School, where I come from, is head of his government. He's head of state and head of government. If you are an MD somewhere, whether in a private organization or a government, all of us, in our own small and big ways, we are leaders and heads of government and heads of state. All of us. We must know there are only two ways. Only two. One is we listen to the ground, we listen to the young people, we hear what they are saying, we have a conversation with them and do the right things. Because if you don't do the right things, we can't create jobs for these young people. They will slaughter all of us tomorrow. So they are even being nice to us by talking to us. Because it's not sustainable that a few people can enjoy in this country when a vast majority, all with education degrees and diplomas, have no hope for tomorrow. Is that sustainable?
No.
It's not sustainable. So we must now listen to them and work with them towards making Kenya a better place. If we don't do that, the thing will burst. Katapasuka. They will force their way.
Do you expect accountability in any way from Gen Zs to Albert Ojwang? Do you expect these cases here to be solved?
I'm just, that's why I began. I began by saying why? Why can't we just see that there's no point in torturing a human being, in killing a human being to make your point, or to stop them from making their point? There is no point in killing somebody so that you have your way, so that they don't say something which you don't like. Even the conscience that will eat you, the guilt that will eat you, you never enjoy life in future. Whoever, even if you have been sent by somebody, learn to say no to certain things. Don't be an animal. If we don't do so, just like it has happened everywhere, katapasuka na katanuka. And many changes come in that manner. That vitu inaharibika, wanakoroga vitu inaharibika, vikombe inaharibika kwa nyumba. Then we all become hungry. Then we shall buy new cups. All of us. And fix dinner now. Because if you want to fix dinner, when the rest of us are outside the house, what hata hiyo nyumba tubomoe. Tukae kwa baridi sisi yote.
Lakini hivyo, but people still live. But in this country, watu wanakufa.
Sio hata mahali ingine, watu kufa. These are the consequences we must know. There is no revolution without bloodshed. Malcolm X said, there ain't no revolution without bloodshed. And even mentioned Mau Mau. You cannot bring about a peaceful revolution very easily. It's in the nature of men. Because the evil forces will always resist change. So in order to get the evil forces out of the way, you enter into disruptive things. The sad thing which I must now end with and inform Kenyans. If you allow yourself to get to a point where you will destroy the country in order to build afresh, even people of your age, you will expire, you will die from old age before you fix this country. Sudan started their war before I was born. Do I look like I'm a kid? The mess in Sudan started before I was born. Do I look like I'm a kid?
It doesn't seem like it's...
From Safari Park, I witnessed Siadi Bare leaving Somalia. I saw. They came with these jeeps, stouts, left-hand drive. I was wondering which are these. The Somalia government had been overturned. That was 1990, 91. And are those 2 years ago? Have they fixed their mess? The moment you destroy your country today,
yes,
it takes long. The things we take for granted, I keep telling Kenyans, even as you torture somebody's son or daughter and push the country closer to anarchy, the things you take for granted, like waking up and having tea, my friend, we take so much for granted. Like, oh, hey, darling, you are ready for school. Shika katoto hivi, unakapeleka kwa gari, unaka drop school. Jioni unaenda kachukua, unaka hug. My friend, let me say this to Kenyans.
Yeah.
I taught as a UT with the people who are ministers in their countries. UT earning 600, 800,000. Somebody who was a minister. Those who know me, stop me on the way and I tell you, I give you even evidence. I taught with people like Kinyara Palodi from Uganda, who told me, wakati kalipasuka, kila mtu akaenda nje yake, they don't know where the wife went, they don't know where the children went. Those days there were no mobile phones. You are teaching with a person. Sometimes you can find somebody, he has forgotten he's in the staff room. He's in a world of his own. Sometimes you could come across somebody. The school I was teaching was Rocky. Ameenda kwa mawe huko. You approach, you don't know he was coming. I'm telling Kenyans, you find a man is shedding tears. He doesn't even know you are next to him. Things are going through his mind. The last time he saw his wife, ni wakati walitoroka Uganda. And I keep warning Kenyans. Let them not take these things for granted. The last example which you must allow me to give. When Amin left Uganda, there were more refugees than when Amin took over. And they poured into Uganda, into Kenya. Something, was it the Arab League or something? Most of them were, Amin was a Muslim, and there are many Muslims who left Uganda when he came. They were in Kakamega Buhungu Stadium, refugees who had run from Uganda. They were being assisted, I think, by the Arab League. There used to be something called the Arab League. Tulipewa kibarua huko. We were young people. That was 1979. I want to tell Kenyans this story because it's important. As we mess this country, people had Ugandan shillings. You needed to change Ugandan shillings to be able to, even within the camp. Money changers, they're opportunists all the time. I want to tell Kenyans to listen to me because some of these things we take for granted. A man would come to your tent. Do you want to change money? Yes. How much do you have? So much. You know, those days handling foreign exchange was a serious offense. People like Waruru Kanja, former MP of Nyeri, aliwekwa jela kwa kupatikana. Ukiingia airport ukose kudeclare dollars, unafungwa. Waruru Kanja alifungwa. So the world has changed. Then being found with dollars or pounds, unless you have declared at the airport, unafungwa. So even exchanging of money was a serious secret. A man, come. And I could discuss the rates. For 1 shilling, I'll give you this. You get that? You want to follow him, he tells you no. Patia mama. Give your wife. You know Kenyans are joking. A man is going with your wife to go and change. You know what else can happen there. And I'm asking Kenya, please, take time to think about your country. Take time to think about your children and their children. Let's not do anything that can destroy this country.
And when you say Kenyans, you especially mean the leaders. Yeah,
leaders. And I've said there are many presidents in this country. There is a president in State House, there's a president in the county, there's a president in a school, there's a president in a university, there's a president in a college, there's a president in a company. We have presidents in our own, up to your house. Take time to understand the young people in this country. Listen to them. Let's save ourselves from the destruction I can see approaching.
Thanks for tuning into this conversation. Leave a comment down below. Share this video with as many people as possible so that we reach every president in their own institutions and governments. Goodbye for now.